Do I look at you with a camera?
Why do you think we tell these barf stories?
You're demented. Other families talk about birthday stories.
Maybe there's something wrong with my body. Maybe Sigmund Freud would say it's probably a psychological thing where I just want the attention.
She's just a weak person.
A weak person.
Emotionally, I think it has to do with emotions. She's not sick ever. She's just emotionally unstable.
Maybe she doesn't like vacation. Or maybe it's not vacations that she doesn't like, but maybe it's just family members. But maybe she just doesn't like change. What happens when she goes to school? What if she goes to BYU Idaho and she just throws up all the time, every day? She thinks, this isn't me saying this, but I think that she thinks that she's bigger than the rest of us, and she needs to find a way to get over that. And so losing 1,200, 1,500 calories every couple months is a good way to do that, right? So, and that's what she does when she throws up. She throws up huge amounts of food. Like we went to Ryan's, she ate like a horse.
She likes it. She enjoys it.
She's developed a lot of gifts and talents that the rest of us never had. Like, she's social in a particular way that none of us were, but there's also some things that she just never got that the rest of us did. And, throwing up is in that package of things that she never really got. What else is in that package? Math.
Probably because she's the most social kid, so she's around the most germs. I don't know.
Oh,
but maybe she needs the attention. No, I'm teasing. Because she surely wouldn't do that for y'all's attention, because it'd be the wrong kind of attention.
It's not just that Meredith throws up on vacation. I mean, lots of people throw up on vacation. It's also the sheer number of times Meredith has thrown up on vacation.
She just threw up around the house, or just threw up while we were hanging out, at the beach or something. It'd be okay. But instead, she chooses to throw up while we were on vacation at someone else's house. We had to clean it up at their place. Or else she'll throw up in the car. We're all cramped for 8 or 12 or however many hours until we get to our destination.
In Ryan's, in the tent on a camping trip, into my hat, in the car on the way home from Virginia, Ryan's again, into a paper bag after camp, at Aunt Fran's house. And those are just the memorable times.
The point is that she just does it when she shouldn't be doing it. She needs to stop that.
I remember parts of it.
Well, poor Claiborne was with us.
The 9/11 wall.
And we were at Niagara Falls.
We went to New York City that vacation too.
We played Frisbee on the lawn for a while.
Meredith throwing up.
It really was one of our coolest vacations. We went to Palmyra pageant, we went to New York City, we went to Niagara Falls. We visited all our relatives between Florida and Canada, all our friends and relatives, basically. And what is the one story we ever tell from that vacation? The time Meredith threw up in the tent.
Middle of the night.
Meredith was 10, and she just decided, I guess, to barf all over the tent.
But I don't remember actually being there. But I do remember the smell. It smelled really bad.
Yeah, I vaguely remember a tent smelling. I probably tried to block it out just because it was so horrific that I didn't even want to think about it.
And then I went to the bathroom to get ready for bed and stuff. And as I came back, all the kids are coming down to the bathroom. And I'm like, what are you guys doing? We put you to bed. You said, yeah, I know, but Meredith threw up in the tent.
We're not sleeping in this barf tent. No, thank you.
And I just thought, oh no. And I had a special job back then. My special job was cleaning up the throw up. So I knew that I was going to have to go back, and I was going to have to clean off her sleeping bag and clean off whatever was in the tent so that you guys could then go back to bed. Well, none of you would go back in that tent.
And you guys wouldn't get back into the tent even though it smelled okay, and you all slept in the car, all 4 of you, with your little sleeping bags around you.
Including your cousin Claiborne. slept in the cars, and poor Meredith slept by herself in the tent.
It was so uncomfortable because we had like those bucket seats, you know. But it didn't matter. We refused to sleep in the tent, but we made Meredith sleep in the tent.
She still said it was the loneliest night of her life.
It was what?
The loneliest night of her life.
Aw. Oh, yeah, probably. I ditched her pretty good. Laughing at her. Yeah, it was sad.
We tend to do that.
Yeah.
The same thing in December. Mary's throwing up. We're going to make fun of her.
Yeah, somebody's got to do it. But it was good. Good bonding time for you. Oh, yay, we get another story about Meredith.
It's kind of sad. It hurt my feelings a little bit because you guys were just laughing at me and I can't help it. I just throw up.
It's not like, I mean, she doesn't even know she's sick, usually. She's just all of a sudden, oh, I'm sick, and throws up. It's not like she's known for a couple of days she's sick. She just kind of creeps up on her, and then she feels left by all you guys. I think she wants to have somebody to make fun of, but she doesn't have that person.
I remember one time that we were having issues with people being sick to their stomach, and this was back when we were in Maryland, and Colin was at soccer practice and threw up twice at soccer practice, and Meredith started saying she didn't feel good, and so I walked her back home from soccer practice, and we got home, and then she immediately started throwing up, and she was very nice about it. She stood up afterwards and said, "Sorry I did that, Daddy." Yeah, those were the cute barfing ages. She's a cute barfer. She used to be. On vacation here to Florida, the year before we moved here, we started off with Meredith in the back seat of the van, and within a half hour, I think, maybe an hour of leaving home, Meredith started complaining that her stomach hurt and she thinks she was going to get sick. So we ended up having to move her to the front seat, and she rode shotgun on that trip for most of the way down to Florida. I think it was a ploy.
And then, of course, there was the epic barf of all barfs. Last Christmas was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back, if you can use that metaphor in terms of my sister barfing.
I was driving. Everybody was asleep.
And then I woke up around 5 in the morning and I didn't feel good, but I thought I just had to go to the bathroom. And then I was like, oh, Dad, I don't feel good.
And we know what that means. That usually means Meredith saying, I gotta throw up.
And he's like, what do you mean you don't feel good? And I'm like, I don't know, I don't feel good. And then he's like, you want me to pull over? And I'm like, I don't think so. I think we just go to the next rest stop. And he's like, that's a couple miles. And I'm like, okay, well, hurry. And then I'm like, oh gosh, oh gosh.
So we're going down the highway and Mom says, open the door, open the door. And I'm saying, we're going 70 miles an hour down the highway and you want to open the door?
He didn't understand what I was saying, and I finally just said, open up the cooler and shove it towards Meredith.
Shove the cooler towards her. So that's what I did. I opened the cooler and shoved towards her. And then she proceeded to blow grits all inside the cooler.
When I was sleeping, and all I hear is just like retching noises, and I see Meredith throwing up.
We're all suddenly awakened by the sound of barfing. As soon as we wake up, we just see her like barfing, and it looks like she's barfing just like straight on the floor. And we're like, oh no, this is gonna be bad. But luckily, she was barfing into the cooler, which was a little better.
And then Dad pulled off, and then I ran outside and I threw up a couple more times. And they cleaned out the cooler, and I threw up on all the Mountain Dew.
The first thing that crossed my mind was the Mountain Dew inside, because I really like Mountain Dew. I was just like, no, why?
And I was like, man, I wanted that Mountain Dew. And I was like, hey, I can still see it. Hey, Mountain Dew, like that. And like everyone thought it was like super funny. And Meredith was like just chucking up in the bushes, like right next to it. She like totally hear me. And so I kind of felt a little bit, not really though. Yeah, never mind. Scratch that. I didn't even feel bad because it was kind of funny.
Yeah, and then we were just like, why is it always Meredith?
No sympathy at all. Just like, we're like, oh, Meredith's throwing up on vacation again.
And me and you and Colin, and we're just kind of making fun of her, which was funny. Kind of mean, but we were all tired, so it doesn't count as anything. And I was just worried about Mountain Dew. Couldn't be saved. Good.
They weren't opened. They could have just cleaned it off. But we just left them there on the side of the road.
So we could get back in the car and keep going for a few more hours before she threw up again and again and again and again. Made the trip home a little bit longer than expected.
They let me sit in the front, and then Joel started driving. And poor Joel, I threw up next to him like every hour, on the hour, inside the cooler. And you guys were all laughing at me in the back, and I cried. I cried by myself in the front. And I think Joel noticed, but he didn't say anything. He just kept driving.
Was that an act of sympathy or what?
What?
Not noticing. Pretending not.
I think he was trying not to laugh, so he just didn't say anything.
Are you really upset? You seem to be smiling a lot about this.
Well, it was funny, and you're kind of laughing, and I can't not laugh when you're laughing. But it was kind of sad. It hurt my feelings a little bit.
We retold that story a lot that week. Were you sad every time we retold it?
Well, I was sad because you told me you were going to make a documentary, and now we're making one.
Any sentimental things about Barf?
Sentimental things about Barf. No. I don't think this is a topic that brings that out in people, Jenny. But I might be wrong.
So everyone in the entire world barfs. So when you say my little sister threw up in the car, they all know that was bad. That was bad news bears. They all know.
I just think it's like an important part of childhood, you know? Like, it's just a way we can connect.
How else can you reclaim these awful things in your life but to tell stories about them? So yeah, it's that whole thing of like bad things make good stories.
Yeah.
Is that what we're going to do afterwards?
I had to sell drugs on my mission to buy this suit. Thank you. Can't tell you.
And this is Tubby, and Tubby barfs all the time. I just want that on record.
I don't think she's fat. Just for the record, Meredith is not fat. She is cuddly. Meredith, you want to come in here and cuddle? Cuddle time!